All right, let's get started. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Hey, I just want to make a couple comments before we start. I know this is the High Fly workshop, but I just want to point out on the board, I always like to keep the board up on purpose for a couple of reasons. We're going to update how many appointments you guys set up last night, and what's the ratio I keep talking about? 10? What else? 10? 80, 10, right? Just like everything we do, whether it's the sales this weekend, phone time last night, phone time from the office, phone time from home, 10% of you got smacked up a little bit, right? And then the other 10%, it was like easy, like no problem. Look at Chantal. It was just like it's almost like everyone she called picked up, okay? And then most of you got between 4 and 6 from home last night, depending. Now, just a couple thoughts. You're not going to get appointments if you make like three calls. Right? I had a rep last night that called me and said, "Oh my God, Jeff, I only got one more." How many calls did you make? 6. Well, you made 6 calls, right? So what was the analogy I used? That's like working out and doing like what? One set, and say, Brendan, I didn't lose any weight. We did one set. I had a smoothie. I didn't lose any weight. He had one smoothie, one healthy shake. So anyway, another reason I put leave the results on the board. It's really interesting when you have so many people invited to the workshop this morning, right? Look at all the green stars, and some of you aren't even on here, but anyone that has a green star next to them said, "Oh, I want to be there. I want to learn. I want to be part of the High Flyer workshop." And 2 people are on the way. So, but it's really interesting how everyone. And I did a little open invitation, did I not? Meaning, I said, even if you just want to check it out, because it will help you do better. What did I say? If you want to, what? Just show up, okay? And notice, not everyone's here. And every week it works out the same way. I always put out an open invitation. So who shows up? Who shows up? Yeah, the real high flyers. The people who, ready? Action, speak. There you go, man. This is it. So, ready? I have so much respect for you for getting up an hour earlier. I know it sucks for some of you. No, for me, I'm up at 5, 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's late for me. But you know what? I'm 36 years old. That's what adults do, by the way, just so you know. But for you guys, I know it's like, oh my God, 8:30. I know it's different. I know, especially when you're out of college. But I have a lot of respect because you're willing to do the things that other people won't, so that you can get those things that other people can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the money we'll talk, all that good stuff. So that's the first thing. Really cool story. When I was in college, I had a professor named Dr. Bhagat. Dr. Bhagat was a physics professor. He's a short little Indian dude. And he at this one big midterm was coming up, and he said, he had this Indian accent. He said, "Everybody, this Friday we will have a review session for the midterm exam, open to everybody," just like me. 6:30 p.m. on Friday. I was like, oh hell no. 6:30 Friday means, right? It's time to go out. Get ready to go out. So then this is a big lecture of like 100 plus, maybe, I don't even know the number. It's called 1 to 150. A big lecture, humongous lecture hall. And there were maybe 20 of us that showed up. But we were like dressed up, ready to go out. It was like, okay, we're going to go, and then we're going to go out. So we sat there, and he walks up with his coffee, and he always says, "Hello, my children, how are you?" "Hello, my children, welcome to a review." And then he would slide the board over, and there's these 3 complicated problems, but all, like fully done physics problems. And he goes, "This is problem number 1, problem number 2, problem number 3. And there's like 20 of us at 6:30 at night, and he goes, "I always appreciate people who do the extra." And he winks, and he goes and he sits at his desk at the front of the lecture hall. And I'm like, what the hell? What kind of review session is this? And he just puts his feet up on the desk. Right? And we're like, someone, "Dr. Bhagat?" He goes, "Just write." All right, so write that. And then he goes on to explain, and he goes, "Enjoy, have a good night." And we're like, what was that? Right? So it's Monday. We have you guys know I'm going with this, right? So it's Monday. All 150 people in the lecture hall. All of a sudden, goes, "Everybody, okay? This is 50%. This is 50% of your exam. This is your grade. You mess this up, you're in trouble." He goes, "Everybody, okay? Good luck." Open the test up. It was the 3 questions, word for word. Word for word, right? And he walks around, he goes, "Enjoy." Like he winks to the people that were at that session. So needless to say, we got a great grade. Final comes up. Want you to know we'll have a review session this Friday,
You're like, oh,
6:30, right? And everyone's like, oh, no, don't go to that. Same 20, maybe 25 people, same thing. So what's the moral of the story? What's the lesson of the story? The lesson is what?
Take what you can get.
Take what you can get when it's offered to you. You never know what extras will be. I'm going to, a special guest, unintentionally, but I just want to recognize Danny Aiello, who's already at his first promotion since Saturday. He was at this meeting 1 week ago. He's now out almost pretty much at $3,000 in sales, so he's not quite at 10K yet, but he's still working hard to have a big weekend. He's still got a good shot at 10K with a strong finish today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. He's already made $400 since Saturday, and he's already not at 10%, not 15, but he's at 20%. So he's here because I always like to take someone who came last week to give some perspective on what it's like. So can we give and welcome Danny? Okay. So notebooks and pens. I want to give you a couple thoughts. Ready? Enjoy. Okay. So I'll do this. I hear a couple thoughts for you. The reason you're here is because we're here to talk about having a $10,000 plus fast start. Fast start goes and starts today. How many days is your fast start, everybody? 10. Yeah, it's your first 10 days on the job. First 10 days on the job. And I'm so excited for you to finish training today so that by 4:30 you're out of here. By 5:30 you're on your first appointment, and boom, you close your first sale on your first 1 or 2 appointments. I think that's such an exciting thing. How many of you last night were like, man, let me just sell? Right? Well, this is the whole part. The work is setting up the appointments. And so I want to talk to you about selling $10,000 or more in cut code. In fact, specifically, I want to talk to you today in this workshop about selling $10,000 to $20,000 within your first 10 days. Okay? $10,000 to $20,000 within your first 10 days. So I want to talk to you real quickly. So what do you get from that? There are a lot of great things that happen. So let's just talk financially. First thing, okay? You will earn in your first 10 days between $2,000 to $5,000 in income. For some of you, how many of you that's more than what you'd make in a summer? By a lot. Okay? Right. Okay. So here's what I'm showing. I've never made more than $1,300 in the summer. So when I heard this, I said, I'm willing to work hard for this. If I told you Brandon's got this big smile on his face, if I told you I would Brandon in cash, even though it wouldn't be cash, I would have $2,000 of cash, and in 10 days, put on the table, and after you'd have to work here. You know what? You'd have to work every day. I own you for 10 days. Your soul is mine for 10 days. Would you do it for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000? Yeah. You wouldn't be here at 8:30 if you wouldn't think about it. That's what I'm saying. Right? If you can't wake up an hour earlier to come to this, you don't deserve to make $2,000 to $5,000 in 10 days. That's my opinion. And all the athletes are laughing like, this is, of course. So I want to first of all say the first benefit financially is really exciting because you can make a very explosive amount of income in your first 10 days, and it just gives you a taste of the summer. Plus, what's really cool, you get the rest of the summer. So you can choose how you work. Plus, I know for $2,000 to $5,000, some of you, that's game changer money. Not everyone, but for some of you, that changes your game. That changes. Like when I'm 19 years old, I make $1,300, $1,400 in the summer, and in my first 10 days, my number, I made $3,500. That changes everything, man.
Spring break.
Spring more than break. Yeah, but more importantly, it boosted my confidence. It got me excited. The second thing I want to talk about, I really want to talk about the experience, because if you go for a $10,000 fast start, what happens is you put yourself through more than the average rep. So by putting yourself through more training, through more appointments, through more ups, through more downs, through more coaching from me, this is what it's all about. Well, what's going to happen to you at the end of the 10 days? You can be a lot better sales rep than everyone else. You'll be a lot of training. Your confidence will increase. Your ability to work with customers. Some of you, when you sign up, I want to learn how to work on my people skills. Your people skills become way more honed because of all the things you've gone through that other people weren't willing to do. Those of you that work out, like your strength is, you have a bigger strength. You can lift more, so to speak. So that's an exciting thing. It gives you better training. Also, okay, the benefit of being part of this group, if you decide to sign up and really do it, is that you get more coaching from me. I love coaching high flyers. You know, I always talk about high flyers. And the cool thing about what I do, Ricky does such a good job with the office that I get to spend most of my time with the top 20%. Those are called the high flyers. So guess who makes the most money in our office? High flyers, right? Guess who gets invited into management training at the end of the summer? Guess who gets into AGL school or management training program every year at the end of the summer? High flyers. Guess who gets invited to Key Staff, that special group that Ricky runs every week where you get extra training once a week only for a specific group? Yeah. And guess who my favorites are? High flyers, okay? But there's something to be said. If you can work for a company, play for a team, work out in a sport, go to a school where the top person, the owner, the coach, is willing to give extra sessions, like Dr. Burgat in Physics 121, wouldn't it be in your best interest to try and really get close to that person? Wouldn't it be in your best interest to talk to them all the time and be on their good side, maybe the favorite? Right? People always say you shouldn't play favorites. I play favorites all the time. You know what my favorites are? You, because you get up early. You know, remember I pulled all of you back? Most of you I pulled back on the first day of training? Remember I told you I know what I'm talking about? I told you I know who I'm spending time with? There you are. Okay? So I think there's something to be said, because whenever you get that extra coaching, for example, Danny, remember Megan who came in yesterday? Blonde hair, and she didn't get off to a fast start. If she wasn't part of this group, I don't think she'd be working here anymore. Because she was part of this group, we gave her extra attention. So when those hard times hit, it wasn't like, oh, this job isn't for me. It was, oh, I'm getting more coaching when I'm having problems right now, so I'm able to get through it faster. And that's what you can look forward to. How about another thing? Let's talk about the prizes, right? You get free Cutco. What's the advantage of that, everybody?
More sales.
Yeah, more to show, and you get in excess of $1,300 worth of free Cutco. So instead of just saying, oh, I think Gideon was the reader yesterday, instead of, oh, Mrs. Jones, I don't have this spatula in my set yet, you just say, oh, here it is, with two hands, right? Yeah. How cool would it be? And how much easier do you think it is to sell when you have every single tool in the homemaker? Yeah, and what happens if you have tools in the signature? What do you start selling? More signatures. You know what that means? More signatures, more sales, more income, more commissions. It's so much easier to sell. I can just tell you this right now. David Delgado, the one who sold $11,000 for his fast start. So he made, I want to say, $2,100. Here's what's really interesting. His average order's gone up. His presentation's not that much better. Why has it gone up? He's got everything. He's like, Jeff, it's just so much easier. When you have the wood block, you just put the wood block on the countertop. What do? Just show the customer. They're like, man, I want that. And that's what he does. His last two sales, he sold a galley and a signature, his last 2 appointments. Now he's at almost $14,000 in sales. Right? So it's really interesting. So that. Also, when you sell $10,000, okay, you become a rock star in our office. You become a rock star in our company. In fact, you go on that chart where it says have a $10,000 fast start. So every week when I talk about training for the rest of my career, you're now one of those immortalized names where I say, oh, by the way, this guy named Gideon. Remember Gideon from last week? Yeah, that guy that makes 50%. His first 10 days, he sold over $11,000. And this is how he did it. So you become this guru when people come to the meetings. And some of you don't care about this. Some of it's kind of cool where they go, you're Gideon? Oh, okay, can I ask you some questions? You're the man. Trust me, it feels pretty good. When people come up at the meetings, Jeff, you're the one who's, man, you're the man. I'm like, yeah, kind of. Like, I work really, and how many of you like or love when you work hard, but it's actually recognized? Isn't that the best? Yeah, but see, here's what happens. You become a leader in an organization. By the way, that sets you up. You become potentially a manager with us. That's what I like. I like the fact that people who lead can eventually become managers, because our branch manager internship program essentially is you run a Cutco office because the summer before you sold the product, so now you just teach it the next summer for your internship. And you run the office and build a business. See that? Okay. When you sell $10,000 also, you win VIP night. And let me give you more details, because later we're going to announce the Fast Start contest with Ricky. VIP night is where I take every single rep in all of South Florida, and I do a separate event in Puerto Rico. If you sold over $10,000 in your first 10 days, and for the push week period, what we'll do is we'll have a very exclusive VIP private dinner in downtown Miami, where we have a section of this restaurant. It's called an area called Downtown Brickell. It's a restaurant called Dolores, and it's a high-end, like Miami-style exclusive restaurant where they kind of rope off the section just for our people. And you'll see all of us all dressed up. Ricky will bring Shannon, his girlfriend, I'll bring Heidi, my girlfriend. You guys get to come. We go up to this private room, and they'll say, "Oh, you're here for the champions. You're here for VIP night. Well, let me show you to your room." It's like, oh, hell yes. And people wonder, like, we walk into the restaurant, everyone's like, who's that group? Right? It's like very, very VIP, like red carpet. And we walk upstairs. There's a private menu. It's got Florida Caribbean Division, 10K fast starters, congratulations, private menu, private wait staff, ton of fun. And the whole goal is to really work hard, but also do what hard? Have fun, play hard. So work hard, play hard. And you deserve that. But more importantly, I love to mix and mingle and put all the champions together. It's another reason for you, if you like advancement with the company, get to events where the division managers were hosting. Right? That's what you do. Get to events where the top people are at, and more importantly, put your name out there, build a reputation. So that'll be fun. And if you get to $15,000 in sales, not only do you get the free Cutco, not only do you win the VIP night, but you get a $1,000 travel voucher. Meaning, I'm going to send you on vacation wherever you want, and you essentially get a check for $1,000 where you can just go have and go do your thing. Because if you've worked that hard, you're going to be tired. You will put work into it. This is not for the weak of heart. This isn't for I just want to show up and see what happens. This is I'm going to work for 10 days relentlessly, right? Like the sign, relentlessly, and I want to get the benefits from it. So if you do get to $15,000, like I did, by the way, you deserve a vacation.
Did they send you on vacation when you got
there? Hawaii. Yeah. But I just cashed out. I cashed out because I didn't really need to go to Hawaii. I'd rather have the money. I decided to pay for my own stuff. So we just essentially give you a check. Okay. So would anyone like an extra $1,000? Okay. So my point is this. Now that's not for everyone. This is what I'm trying to teach you. This would be like the higher level. Okay. And just to put it out there, later on I'll get you the exact number. The national record, meaning the all-time record in the company of someone in the first 10 days, is in excess, I believe, 36,000. I'm going to find out exactly. And that means that person who did it made over about $12,000 or $13,000 in the first 10 days, and they hit every possible commission level, so they were 50%. Okay? And I believe it was in the California Bay Area. And I'll talk more about that, because you always want to know that. Last two things, okay? If this stuff excites you, raise your hand. Yeah? Okay, I can tell. I'm going to give you a little kicker, not now, later on. When you recommend friends, I'm going to give you the scoop. When you recommend friends to the job, guess whose friends I'd like to have work here more than the others? Your friends. I want high flyers friends to interview with us. Why? Because more likely your friends are also high flyers. Okay? I know what I'm doing. I'm not stupid. I'm a smart businessman. So I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to hook up everyone, but I want you to take advantage of my money. So later on, when I have you recommend people to the job, anyone that actually gets interviewed this week, and don't tell this to everyone else yet until I announce it. Anyone that gets interviewed this week that you recommend to me later, not now, later, what I will do is I will give you extra credit on your fast start. I'll give you, for every person that comes in this week, I'll give you $1,000 credit towards your prizes. Meaning, this contest is based on how much you sell. So every person that comes in this week, I'll put $1,000 credit towards your fast start. Why? Because number one, I want to get you pumped. Look at your faces. Number two, I really want people like you on this team. Okay, so we'll talk about that later. But take advantage of any time. I'm only doing that this week, so take advantage. Last bit, and this is kind of long term. You'll be making 30% plus, and that's the last thing I want you to write down. You'll be making 30% plus forever. Okay, so what that means, right? Instead of starting off at what percent are you at right now? Start off at 10%. You'll be making 3 times the amount. So let's say in your first 10 days, okay, you do sell $10,000 in 10 days. Let's say the next week, here's what's going to happen. If you decide to go for a $10,000 faster on the 11th day, which is Tuesday, I'm going to have you come here to a meeting called the Sales Leadership Development Meeting. It's a chance for you to learn about advancement opportunities. Because if you do hit this, you're going to be one of our top candidates to possibly get into our management training program. I'm going to have you attend a meeting where you'll learn about advancement, so see if maybe you want to compete for an internship with us next summer, assistant manager position, anything. You're not allowed to do any Cutco that day because you're going to relax that day. You're going to sleep in. You're not going to even come here till like noon or 1. I don't want you to do any Cutco. If you do Cutco, I'll be mad at you. Take the whole Cutco day off. You just come to this meeting. We'll meet one-on-one, and then we'll plan out the rest of your summer. You let me know, okay, how much do you want to work for the most part? What are some weeks where you might want to vacate? What are some weeks where you want to go double the work? And you get to pick. But here's what's really cool. Let's say the week after your first 10 days, if you chose to, you could take a really part-time schedule. Let's say you decide instead of working 7 days straight or 10 days straight, let's say you work 2 days for the week. Okay? And let's call it a moderate day. So how many appointments would you say in a full day? 7, 8, 9, right? That's a real part-time day. 2 to 3, right? So medium, 4 or 5, okay? Let's just say 5 appointments for the day. Just 2 days a week. This is after your fast start. And let's say you just sold on 4 of them. Why would you probably sell on 4 instead of 3? Meaning, why would it not be 60%, probably higher?
Because you got better.
Because you got better in 10 days, right? So that's 4 sales. What's the average order? 250. I'm going to assume it's higher, but let's just even keep it. Let's call it $400 maybe. So you're selling $1,600 to $2,000 that day. Let's even go lowball. Let's just say all the way to $250. So you sell $1,000 for that day. How many days a week are we going to work that week? 2. So times 2 is what? $2,000. Now, what percentage are you making?
30.
30%. Okay, 600. Would you be excited about the next week making $600 to $1,000 on just 2 days worth of work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would 2 days worth of work seem hard to you at that point? If you ran a marathon, how's the mile feel? Serious. If you ran a marathon, how's the mile feel? Warm up. You do 10 days my way, the 10K fast start way. How does 2 days of 5 appointments feel? Like a warm up. But the warm up pays you $600 to $1,000 part time forever. And that's if you just do to 2 days. What if you did another 10 days the same way? Yeah, you can do the math. So let me tell you my true story. In my first 10 days, I made $3,500. The next week, I made $3,500. Like I said again, in 2 weeks, I made about $3,500. The next week, I made about $3,500 on 1 week. And it was easier because I was doing this. I didn't stop. So some of you might want to keep going for the whole summer. If that's you, I'm going to try and help you earn a scholarship because you're on pace to being one of the top 50 in the nation. But you might say, you know, Jeff, I worked my heart 10 days. I want to enjoy the flexible schedule. I'm going to do the 2 to 3 days of work a week. I'm behind you because you gave me the first 10 days hard. Cool? All right, so I'm going to stop here. Let's debrief for a second. What's getting you excited? What are you focused on? What are you taking from this section? Because there's 2 more sections before we finish up that I'm going to help you with. So anything, what's exciting you? What's getting you focused? Or what are you taking from this first section?
You want to hit the 10,000
Okay, well, obviously, this is what it is. But what's exciting you? What are you taking away? What's going to give you fire? So I can tell most of you, I'm signing up. For why? I mean, I can see your faces. Everyone's smiling at you. Do you like the prizes? Okay. What else? I'm just curious. If I went around, what are you taking from this, Gideon? Just in general, for you.
So obviously, besides like the income.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with income.
The trip voucher.
Yeah, you like the trip? Oh, okay. See, not everyone likes to travel. That's pretty cool. Or you just like $1,000.
Gotta get the spring break somehow.
That's right. Where do you want to go? Hold on. Where do you want to go?
Cancun.
Oh man, not that I've been there 5 times, 6 times, 8 times. But if I had been there 8 times, I could tell you exactly where to go and how to maximize your $1,000. And I went in college too. A lot of it's from Cutco, but my first spring break ever and only, senior year, 2000. Cancun.
Oasis.
That's a good one too. There's a new one. I'll show you another one.
The schedule, the income, and the experience.
So everything. Okay. Anything else standing on top? What's standing out for you?
Bringing my friends.
Okay. Yeah. How about this? Getting to the extra.
Yeah.
Using things that make it easier. Okay. Why not bring 3 to 5 friends in this week and knock off half of instead of 10,000, you'll have to sell 5,000. How about that? Okay. Now let me give a very upfront. The only thing I cannot change, like when you bring friends in, I cannot change. It doesn't affect your commission. Like I can't give you $1,000 in sales because the company won't let me do that. And you can't win the VIP night or the travel voucher with the friends credit, but you can win all of the free Cutco. Cool. And you tell me that's fine. Bye. Yeah, okay. Last thing. Here's what I want to share with you. A couple things. Let's transition. So if I told you to get all this, what's exciting you right now, if I told you you had to be here every morning at 6 a.m. sharp, and you can't be late, otherwise it's canceled. Your 2,000 is gone. All this is gone. You had to be here before it hits 6 a.m. on the dot with a toothbrush, and you clean my toilets. And you do it for 10 days straight. And then you're done. And that's how you do it. No selling whatsoever. Would you still do it? Right, okay, of course. So, but here's my question. I know that's not what we're doing, I know. But here's what I want to share with you. It doesn't sound luxurious, and that's definitely not what I'm going to have you do. But it's not a question of if you can do it, correct? What's the question now is if you're willing to put the work, okay? You have to find something compelling and inspiring to make you work through the good and through the bad, yeah, for sure. And that's what I want to talk about today. I'm not going to have you come in at 6 in the morning, nor do you need a toothbrush, and you're for sure not going to clean my toilets. But I am going to ask you if you're going to sign up for this to see you every day physically. And I'm going to see you no matter where you're coming from, to see you every day physically at least once, in addition to the normal training that I covered yesterday, but to at least see you once. And what we have is called Champions Club Workshop. Okay, I want you to write this down. Champions Club. Okay. And I'm going to reference that in about 2 minutes here. Champions Club is a chance for me to give you personal coaching and personal instruction every single day of the fast start. The difference between you and the rest of the training that's coming in at 9:30 is that they won't see me every day. You will. The difference between you and the other guys is that I'll be able to give you individual training. They won't get any individual attention until after the first weekend, and maybe even after the first 10 days. There'll be group training, group training, group training. You guys have the group training plus time with Jeff, time with Ricky. And that's why Danny, is over here. In fact, can you bring, when you get a chance, bring Danny in when he's not busy? Okay. All right. So here's what I want to share with you. A couple thoughts. All right. Let's write down 6 letters. MMC, DMD. MMC, DMD. MMC, DMD. Stands for make more calls and do more demos. That's how you, I'm giving you the keys right now how to sell 10 to 20,000. MMC, DMD stands for make more calls, do more demos. Make more calls, do more demos. Okay. So MMC, DMD. Oh, that's my workshops, man. MMC stands for make more calls. DMD stands for what? Do more?
demos.
One more time. Make more calls.
Do more demos.
That's it. So the name of the game is getting appointments. You will soon find out that if you get the number of appointments, selling's not the problem. Selling's not the problem. I have a representative last week who did 3 appointments and didn't sell on the 3 and said the job's not for them. That's the wrong way to look at it because they haven't even done 10 appointments yet. Because what's the average closing ratio? 60%. So that means 6 out of 10. So if you did 3 appointments and didn't sell anything, why is that not an accurate assessment of whether you can or can't do the job? You haven't done. What if the next 9 were? What if the next 9? What if the next 7? What if the next 7 were sales? That you never would know. Yeah, because you gave up. Wayne Gretzky said you miss 100% of the shots that you never take. Not true? Like if you don't shoot the ball, you never make it ever, ever, ever. And that's what I want to share with you today. Is that it's about making more calls and what? Yeah, MMC, DMD. So here's the appointments I want to share with you. Ready? The number, magic number, total, is 40 appointments. Meaning, in my career, and I've trained several people, in fact, many people on that wall right now are people I personally have trained, and I personally have done this myself. If you want to sell over 10, 15, 20 plus $1,000, the number is 40 in 10 days. It doesn't have to be. Last 2 weeks ago, Cullen Falvey from Vero Beach did 42 appointments. He sold $10,000 and it's almost on the dot. Then I also have David Delgado, 2 weeks ago. David, you've met already, and David, you'll see again probably tomorrow, probably Monday or Tuesday. David sold almost $11,000 worth of Cutco. He did in about 25. And that can happen, but for sure, if you sell and you hit 40 MAC customer appointments, I can assure you, you will sell. Not maybe, not thinking about it. You will 100% sell $10,000 in Cutco or more. Okay. So here's the cool thing. What was the magic number I wanted you to start and have by the time you got in here today? 10, right? So if you already have 10 appointments, how many more do you have to get? 30. You only need 30 more. If you didn't get 10 appointments before you got here, guess what I need you to do before we start training today? Have the 10. Get the 10. I'd like to recognize the people that did get the 10. Jessica officially had 10 appointments. Crystal officially had 10. Okay, so you got another 3 last night. Anyone else officially over 10 appointments? Okay, Robert, you got officially, what, 4 last night? What do you have total?
I have 6, got 4, I have 11.
6, so you got 5 last night. All right, anyone else over 10? Okay, some of you close, right? How many of you have like 7, 8, 9? Okay, so guess what? I'm going to give you some time before we start to get to that 10 plus. You get pizza today, if that's you. Who asked what kind of pizza? Free. What kind of pizza? You didn't say it like that. I know you didn't say it like that. So watch. So how do you get the appointments? You've got to have a list of people to call, right? So in theory, if you want 40 appointments, in an ideal world where everything is perfect and everyone's always home waiting by the phone to do Cutco appointments with you, how many people do you need in your list? 40, because everyone's going to pick up. That's not the case. You realize that now, right? Mm-hmm. What are you learning? I'm not home, they don't pick up, they don't return your calls, or they're not in town. You cannot control that, can you? What can you control? Say it again, Gideon. The amount of calls. What I love about last night, I'll use Gideon as an example. I'm using all these 3 I talked to last night. Gideon's like, yeah, I only have whatever right now. I think you only had 1, even not even another one when I talked to him. And I said, you know what? Tell me about your list. So we went through, and we found out that some of his lists were people that he didn't really know that well. So I said, instead of waiting till Monday, let me teach you the acquaintance approach, and I'll talk about that in a second. So I taught it to him, and he set up another 2 or 3 within like 7 to 10 minutes. Right? That's how you do make more calls and do more demos, right? Everyone make more calls in, do more demos, yeah. I want to give props to Jessica. Jessica, when I talked to you, when I spoke to you, you were at 9, okay, and I think your goal was 13. And she said, I'm going for 13 tonight, but no matter what, come hell or high water, before I go out or before I do whatever, I'm going to get to 10. You know what she did? She got to 10 before she talked. She texted me. I love this one, right? It's good, you know, she's late. We are not on Miami time, right?
Okay.
So here's Crystal, right? Crystal called me, and she was at 8. She said, I'm pretty much done. I said, okay, your goal is 8. I said, Crystal, can you get 2 more? Like, can you get to the magic number? She goes, I can do that. I get a text message this morning. I got my 2 more. Here's my 1. Here's my 2. 10. That's how you make the calls and do the demos. If you can do that, that's all it's about. Because no matter what, even if you feel like some of you who are going for a 10K fast start, your sales are going to come really quickly. Some of you it's going to go really slow. Some of you will be in between. But it always works out when you get 40 appointments. It always works out. Okay? So that's what I want to talk to you about. Next couple of things. I want to talk to you about the 4 gears again. So you can write that in your notes. Danny, can you push the temperature 3 notches down, whatever it's on? Just get some airflow, please. Thank you, sir. So the first gear, remember the gears we talked about, driving a car and who you call first? Okay, what's the first gear? Who have you already started calling? Friends and fam. Okay, that's easy. That's on page, I think, 27, whatever the approach you have from last night. That's if you know them pretty well, and you probably don't even need an approach because they know you so well, but you're still going to follow the approach. Why? Because that works, yeah. Second one is called acquaintances. Second one is called acquaintances. And let's define that. Ready? Okay. This is the people where it's been a while. Give me someone that's been a while. Give me an example. Gideon, you called some people. Who are some of them been a while? Give me an example of who.
Someone that went to school with my parents that knew me when I was like a baby.
Okay. Someone that you knew when you were way younger, and it's been a while, but you guys kind of know each other. Okay. The other one, you know of them, but they don't know who you are. So give me an example of someone you know of, but they don't know you. Chantal.
My grandma's friend.
Grandma's friends. It's like, oh, I know her, and the friend's probably like, oh, you know, sweetie, I don't even know who the hell you are, but you're my friend's niece, so, or grandchild. So I'm sure you're great. And the last one is they know of you. Who would know of you, but you don't know of them? Give me an example of someone that knows of you.
Mom's
Mom's friends, right? Oh, Leslie, how are you? You don't know me, but your mom always shows me pictures. And you guys know that, okay? Third, directories. Okay, directories. What does that mean? That means you're affiliated as part of a group. Okay? You've got this directory, neighborhood, church, sports team you played for. It can be your boyfriend or girlfriend's directory. It can be your sister's or your sibling's directory. I called through every one of my sister's soccer teams. And most of them don't even know who the heck I was. They just knew me as Cynthia's big brother. Oh, you're Cynthia's big brother. Oh, I didn't know she had a big brother. You do now. And you're going to see me soon. And I'm going to show you this awesome product. Yeah, I'm going to sell you some Costco directory. And then the last one, which we're going to talk about, you don't even get to these, by the way, till like end of the summer, or maybe for some of you, even till January next summer. These are what are we called? Recommendations. Okay, and you have to be really careful because a lot of you are excited. Oh, I need to call recommendations. I don't have a lot of people. A real recommendation is someone who you don't know, they don't know you, you don't know them. There's no affiliation. Why do we not? Just by hearing that, how come we don't start with those people?
Those are people I don't know.
You don't know who they don't. There's no connection. There's nothing. They're really hard to talk to. What you're excited about, most of you, are acquaintances, people that you think they're called a recommendation, but they're really an acquaintance. You kind of know them. They know of you. It's funky to call them. Okay. I just taught Gideon the approach last night. Is it hard? In fact, it's kind of like calling who?
Same thing.
It's kind of like calling friends and family, but they're like 2 or 3 sentences different that make it not awkward and low pressure. So I want to talk to you real quick. If you want to MMC and DMD, which means what? Make more calls and do more demos, you're going to need to focus on list 2 and 3. Now, some of you have so many friends and family that you could do 40 appointments from that. Cool. That's not everyone. That's 10% of you. Okay? Another 10% of you, you have like 5 to 10 friends and family. That's okay too, by the way. but everyone has acquaintances and directories. Maybe not directories, but everyone has people you know of, they know of you, or you sort of know it's been a while, so it would be funny to call them. I'm going to teach you how to call those people on Monday for sure. Some of you might even teach it to you this morning if you're having a hard time with friends and family. Okay, just in case. Give Gideon feedback when you call someone. Tell them who you called, like the relation, and how easy it was.
2 people, both friends of my mom.
Okay, so did you know of them?
No, I mean,
But they
just
know
because my mom like told me who they were.
Okay, but you know more. They know more so that of you, like your.
Yeah, maybe not even that much. I probably knew a little more about them.
Okay, so ready? That's not like a friend or family member.
No.
That's like, okay, this is a lady my mom works with.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Okay, so you call them up, and without going into the approach, what was the feeling when you called them?
I mean, they were really nice about it, and they were willing to meet with me.
Yeah, it's really easy. Now, here's what I will say. Gear number 2 and gear number 3, we have a nickname for those lists, for those gears. You know what the gears are? We call those the chicken lists. Why? Because sometimes you're what?
Chicken.
Yeah, chicken to call them. But ready? Here's the thing. I want to, and this is my next fast start tip. If you want to have a 10K fast start, you can't be chicken. You have to understand that what's the worst that happens?
No.
You call them up, right, Jessica, and they say no. What's even worse than that? They say no and they're really rude because you're so scared that they're going to be mean to you, and they are. But ready, if someone's like that, they go, Jessica, how dare you call me, fool? Ready? If someone's that rude to you, guess what?
They're not gonna.
They're not going to get the chance to meet you. And you don't have to sit through a miserable appointment with that someone with that miserable attitude. Anyone done retail or food before? What do they say? The customer's always
Right.
That's not true.
That is not.
That is not true at all.
No.
Anyone ever been disrespected in food?
Yeah.
When is that right? When is that ever right? Never. 0 times in my life is being rude to someone else right. You agree with me? Okay. In our customer service, you don't deal with those people. If someone's that rude on the phone, you already know. See ya. Isn't that great? And what's the worst? Do you die? If they say no, it's like, do you like shrivel up and wilt away? No. You know what happens? You thicken your skin. You know what happens? You become more applicable when you apply for jobs later. You know what happens? You become a more marketable applicant later. You know what happens? You can take a no. Versus most people your age can't even take the no. I'm telling you. And that's what makes you tough. And that's why people with Cutco get better jobs after Cutco. Cool? So that's part of it, is learning how to call those acquaintance approaches. Last few tips, and then we're going to stretch out, okay? I want to talk to you about the best phone times. So the goal is to make more calls and do what?
More downloads.
One more time. Make more calls and do more downloads. What's the magic number of appointments for the fast start? 40. Okay, you got to focus on your gears. 2 and 3 is the chicken list. You can't be chicken. You got to focus on the phone times. So here's the best phone times. The best phone times, okay, I'm going to talk about. Number 1 are the phone jams, okay? Phone jams are just like last night was a mini phone jam because we only did it for 30, 45 minutes. A phone jam is like 2 to 3 hours here. Phone jam is where everyone's usually dressed up in a theme because it's fun. The bell's ringing all day. We have raffle tickets. We have prizes for the people that get the most, and we do drawings for free Cutco, fun prizes, gift cards, lotto cards, so it's really motivating. And it's a chance for people to make calls together. Can anyone tell me why that's so important, why that's so beneficial for you?
Supported.
Say it again. Motivation. Go ahead. And then go ahead.
Supported.
More supported. You're 33. Remember I told you about training? You're 33% more likely to work out if you go to a gym. 33%. 1/3 more.
Wow.
Why?
You see everybody else?
Number 1, that you're guilty by association. Why? What else? Why are you more likely to work out when you go to a gym? You're surrounded by active people, right? What else? Because when you walk in, that's the environment. Health, energy. You don't walk into a gym with McDonald's and say, hey, y'all, I'm here with my McDonald's. You could, but you're the fool, right? When you go to the gym, you're in your workout gear and you join the club, so to speak. Same thing here. Why else? Why do they have trainers at the gym? Why do they have people to train you? Go ahead. Stay focused, not distracted, and you don't get hurt. Why? How would you get hurt at the gym?
By not knowing what you're doing.
Not knowing what you're doing. So what they do is say, let me show. Okay, let me show you the technique. That's all I'm here for. Cool. But if you do it on your own, there are people that get hurt. They don't work out the right way. They don't get the right results. So here are the phone jams. Ready? Sunday, Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 6 to 9:30 p.m. Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 6 to 9:30 p.m. Every week for the year, 52 weeks out of the year. Here at Cutco, If you go to any Cutco office, there's a Thursday, there's a Sunday, there's a Wednesday, 6 to 9:30. Luckily for you, the Wednesday one, you're already here for your training. Thursday, we talked about this already, just in case. What? In case what's not booked?
What?
Yeah, the 3 days after, good. And Sunday, we always have people here every Sunday. Okay? And if there's a theme for the workshop, if there's a theme for the phone jam, we'll tell you the theme. Sometimes we do nerd theme, neon theme, sports team theme, Miami Heat theme, white hot heat theme, and we do fun stuff because it just gets the culture and people get, it's kind of like, anyone do like a 5K or 3K run, but they have like you ever seen they have like a paint run or you dress up in themes? You're still just running. So what's the theme for? Just make it fun and get more people to come. Same thing, okay? Also, okay, any day 6 p.m. on for the most part. Meaning, this is when we have an actual phone jam here at the office with themes and fun, but any day after 6 is actually pretty good. So put that down. And then the third one I'm going to reference in a second. Third one I'm going to reference in a second. Okay. Third one is morning phone time. I'm going to put AM PT at 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. That's Monday through Friday. Okay. On Saturday, it's usually 9 to 10:30. It's a little bit later on Saturday. So Monday through Friday morning at 7:30 to 9:30. On Saturday, it's typically, bless you, 9 to 10:30. Okay. Now, the first thing I do know, just like training yesterday, don't act, think, or speak like a college student. So when I say 7:30 on a Monday, what's the college student say? Right? Or you're crazy, or I don't want to wake anyone up. You will absolutely wake people up and bother them and piss them off if you call people your age at 7:30, 8:30. But who do we call? Max. And what time are Max up?
30.
Ready? If I were to go around the horn, not everyone, ready? But the majority, 80%. Tell me what time your folks are up.
6.
How many of you, I'll have the by show of hands, how many of you, your folks are up before 7:30? Okay. How many of you, okay, not everyone, but 80% of you. How many of you after? Okay, how many of you before? Yeah, nurses? Or just up early, period?
Just, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
As soon as the sun's up.
Yeah, for some ungodly reason. Right, I was like, oh my god. But listen. So that means if they're up, it's easy to get a hold of them. True story. I want to talk to you about. It was Kellen, who just sold $10,000 for his first 10 days. Okay. He was saying I was having a hard time getting a hold of people after 6 because a lot of the people I was looking to get appointments with, they were just out and busy and active. Right. A lot of people have money, are always out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he said I did the morning phone time the next day. I would get like 3 or 4 appointments in like 15 minutes on just 3 or 4 calls. Versus the night before, I would make 20, 30 calls and get like 3 or 4, which is still an okay ratio, but it was easier in the morning. And by the way, what's the magic number of appointments you have to hit?
4.
So every little bit counts, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the last thing I want to wrap up with here. That's why I want to talk to you about Champions Club. So one of the last tips I'm going to give you, like in terms of the schedule for going for a $10,000 fast start, is joining Champions Club. And Champions Club, I'll call it CC, is Monday through Friday, okay, 8 to 9:30 a.m. Okay. Hey, Ricky. Ricky. Nothing.
Oh, he was outside.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Can we go get him?
Yeah, actually, could you please? Thank you, my friend. So Champions Club, here's what Champions Club is. Champions Club is where you get Jeff one-on-one coaching. Champions Club is only the real players come play. Champions Club is where the 10K fast starters hit 10K fast start. David Delgado is a Champions Club. Everyone gets here between 7:45, 7:50. I love that you were here earlier, man. I loved it. I was here at 7 a.m. and at 7:30, 8 or 8 o'clock. I'm like, who? Very nice. I love it. Early bird gets the worm. Okay, but watch or listen rather. On Champions Club, what I do is when everyone gets here, the first 30 minutes, I teach selling tips. things that no one else gets, tips that I don't teach during the group training, tips that take you to a higher level and make you a better rep. And then after about 8:15 to 9:30, guess what we do? Another phone jam. MMC, DMD, make more calls. Total number of appointments, magic number is 40. There you go. So let's say you're going to sign up for this 10K faster. I'm all in, and you come Monday through Friday. You're going to get anywhere on the lawn of 1 extra appointment in the morning, or up to 4. That's 5 days a week. What's that? 5 to 20 extra off your 40. And then you do a couple appointments here, and then your phone jams, you get the rest.
Yeah.
So you see how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ricky, is Danny available? Okay, awesome. So here's what I'll say. David Delgado just sold $11,000 for his fast start. So he had his first weekend. He sold about $3,000 in his first 10 days. Monday morning, he was here at 7:45, and I taught him how to sell to people who already own Cutco. Because he had 2 customers where he sold them like 1 piece when they already had Cutco on his weekend. That night, he did an appointment for someone who already had Cutco and sold them a homemaker. He's like, these workshops are awesome. I'm like, right? Tuesday, he comes in. I'm having a hard time getting recommendations. It's not as easy as it was Saturday. That night, he did an appointment, got 37 recommendations on an appointment. On Wednesday, he said, I'm having a hard time closing sets for some reason. It's not as easy as the weekend. I taught him that day, signature. And it's so funny because only one person showed up from this whole training group for Champions Club. It was him. And he made $2,100 that 10 days. And then what happened? Next week, Megan started coming. Right? And Megan wasn't the David Delgado. She was like not a fast start, actually a terrible start. 1 sale out of her first 6. But remember, how many appointments do you have to do first to even get the job? You got to do 10. So now that she's at her 10, she's ready for her first promotion. Right? Her first 6 appointments, if she looked at the job, she was like, I can't do this job. I'm 1 for 5. I'm 1 for 6. After 10 appointments, she's now at her first promotion. Oh, and she loves the job. And she said, I am so confident. She came in for a workshop on Friday. I'm having a hard time doing blank. Whatever that blank was, she sold it that night. Okay? So that's why Champions Clubs are awesome, because I also know that's the only time I can coach people one-on-one. You let me coach you, you're going to make more money, more sales. And you're more likely to hit Champions Club, 10K fast start. So everyone understand that so far? So if you're down, I want to review before I give you some miscellaneous tips here. If you really want to go for a $10,000 fast start, focus on making more calls and doing more demos. Magic number of appointments total is 40 appointments. The best phone times are here. And I'll see you at Champions Club Monday through Friday next week. It starts at 8 o'clock sharp. I'm going to teach you. What should you bring with you to be productive? Your phone numbers and your notes. And you should be dressed for what? Meaning like dressed to go to an appointment. That means your first appointment, by the way, and this is when I make a note of this, your first appointment should be 10 o'clock, no earlier. Okay? So I would write that down. On Monday through Friday, no appointments, and if you already put one earlier, just move it by 30 minutes. No appointments earlier than 10 o'clock. That way you can give phone time, you can get the workshop, and then you go to the appointment. Okay. Questions so far? I'm going to give you last tips here, and then we're done. Okay. Also, don't forget to focus on your chicken list. I'm going to teach you how to call acquaintances on Monday or maybe today. Don't be afraid to call. That's going to expand your list. Last week I had a representative who said, Jeff, I'm out of people. How many appointments have you done? 4. That's not possible. He was out of people that have friends and family that were close. Because some of you don't have a lot of close friends and family. That doesn't matter. Everyone has acquaintances. And everyone has directories. Or most people have directories. Okay? So, everyone so far so good? All right. Let's debrief this part, and I'll give you the last 5 minutes, and then we'll take a stretch and role play. So, what are you taking from this section in terms of, okay, this is what you get when you go for 10,000, 10K fast start. This is the philosophies and the most important rules of the fast start and how to get it done. Talk to me. Give me some things that stand out. What's the light bulb for you? Come on, give me one at a time. Go ahead, Richard.
Make more demos.
Make more demos. Okay. Yeah, you make more calls, do more demos. Go ahead.
The help is there.
Yeah, the help is here. You just have to what? You have to want it and take it. Yeah. Not even just want it, but take it. Right? What else?
Doing the 40 appointments.
Yeah, 40 appointments. So really, just like you can't evaluate the job until you've done how many appointments? 10. You can't really evaluate if you're going to sell 10,000 until you get to 40. Danny Aiello is only at $3,000 in sales since Saturday. Right? He's like $200 away from his second promotion. He still has $7,000 to sell. but he hasn't done 40 yet. So as sooner he gets, closer he gets, he's going to book a bunch of appointments today, a bunch of appointments for Sunday, a bunch of appointments for Monday. He may or may not hit 10K, but watch this guy's sales as he tries. I'm telling you. What else stands out here? Go ahead, Crystal.
Don't be a chicken.
Don't be a
I
chicken.
got it right there.
No pollo.
No.
That's chicken. Why are you laughing? That's no chickens. Seriously, don't be a chicken. Because when you overcome that chicken, not only forget the Cutco appointments to make you money part, you're becoming a stronger candidate in the future. You're becoming a better life candidate. You're sticking in your skin. Really important. What else? What else is standing out? Anything else? Yeah, one more. Yeah, the Champions Club is still important. That's one of the biggest parts. If we see you on Monday through Friday, you're going to make more calls, you're going to get more attention. I was telling them about David, where every problem he had, Monday, we fixed it, sold it. Tuesday problem, fixed it, sold it. The Wednesday, leads problem, fixed it. Yet everyone else is like, well, I don't know, why am I not selling? Because you're not meeting with us. You don't get the coaching. Anyway, remember Dr. Bragad? Enjoy. That's what I'm trying to do every day next week. I'm not here 52 weeks out of the year. Ricky runs the show. Ricky's in charge. He's the boss here. Okay? But when I'm here, take advantage of when I'm here. I'm up early. I'm a Mac customer minus the Marriott. I'm the Mac customer, and I'm up early. I'm here. I love being here. I love coaching the champions early in the morning. You're wondering how the hell is he so excited in the morning? I don't know. I'm crazy. But guess what? My energy goes to who? Yeah. Anyone feel like, man, Jeff is just so wired, but it kind of feeds into you, doesn't it? Yeah, that's the whole point. Speed of the leader, speed of the team. Last few tips, and these are my miscellaneous tips. I'll put them in red. Okay. One third, one third, one third. Okay. It's also similar to 10-80-10. Okay. If you're going for a 10K fast start, a third of your appointments are going to be just average. A third of your days, rather, are going to be average. You're going to have a day where your closing ratio is 60%, your average order is 250, and you'll get 5 to 10 recommendations if you continuously do 4 to 7 appointments a day. Okay. That means also a third of the appointments will be what? Really high, really outstanding and different and better and not like everyone you see is like a signature homemaker complete, and the worst one's a galley for like $800. And then you get like 20, 30 recommendations an appointment, and you sell on every one. And that day you're like, oh, I love Cutco, right? You're walking around like, this is the best job ever. Then you're going to have days, by the way, 1/3 means what? Also the opposite. What does that mean? You're going to have those El Succo, like, what the hell, like, I hate this job day. I'm telling you, you have to if you want this to work out the right way. And you know what? If you're going to sign up for this 10K and you're really going to put the effort, your first 3 to 4 days, that means probably 4, 3, and 3. That means, what if your first 3 days might be those 3 days? I'm telling you right now, someone here who's going to go for a 10K fast start, your first 3 days you're going to get a sledgehammer to your face. Not literally, but you're going to get crushed. And you're going to do the appointments, and it's cancellations. You're going to do the appointments, and it's reschedules. You're going to have 6 appointments set, 2 reschedule, 1 cancels, 1 no-show. You do 2, you sell on 1, it's a peeler. Damn. And you know what? You're going to keep going, because make more calls, do more demos. Because it's all part of the process. It's really important. You guys are Heat fans, some of you. If you're not, just bear with me here, okay? I'm not. I'm just trying to use a Heat analogy because we're Miami, right? About 15, 20 games into the season, people were saying, I don't know about the Heat this year. 15, 20 games in because they were on some losing streak. I don't even remember. I remember them going, man, the Heat, they need to turn this around if they're going to make it. I'm pretty sure they're whooping everyone's butt right now. I'm pretty sure they're most unstoppable. They may or may not win the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure they're on fire right now. You could argue, I know. But you guys understand where I'm going with that? You have to understand the dimensions, or the ratios. That's number 1. Number 2, if it's MMC GMD, I want you to write down 5 before, 5 after. 5 before, 5 after. If you're always trying to get appointments, what do you think you could do before and after every appointment to make sure you have appointments? Make 5 calls, quick 5 calls before. You get to the driveway, don't walk in. Make 5 phone calls, see what happens. When you're done the appointment, even if you're running a little bit behind, or when you pull up to the next person's appointment, make 5 quick calls, make 5 calls after, because every call counts towards the ratios, and eventually you get to your 40 appointments. I love David Delgado. He would go to the appointments, he'd check in, he'd call us, hey, it's David, I'm at my 4:30 with Miss Leslie and her husband. I'm going to make my 5 calls. I'll text you how many I get, and I'm going to go rock the appointment. Talk to you soon. And he would say, oh, no appointments on this one, but I'm going to make 5 calls after. Or, hey, I just set up 3 in a row. Awesome. I'm going to go sell a homemaker right now. See ya. Okay? Always be thinking, and remember, this is just for your first 10 days. After your first 10 days, most of this goes out the window, minus when you should make phone calls and communicating with us. Okay? Next thing. Okay. High communication. I'm just going to put high comm. High communication. Okay? High communication. We need to see you every day, but also we need to talk to you all day long in your first 10 days. When you're done with the fast start, if you go for a $10,000 fast start, we don't necessarily need to see you every day. You're only here for Wednesdays and Sundays for the most part after that. But in your fast start, we'll see you every day because of the Champions Club and your group trainings. But making sure you talk to us every appointment and talk to us all the time. And in fact, if you are part of the Super 10K Alliance, I'm also going to give you my cell phone if you don't have it. You're going to talk to Ricky the most, but I'm going to talk to you often. And why is that important to communicate highly during the fast start? Keep motivated. Go ahead, Richard. Yeah, give you more random tips out of nowhere. Chantal.
Help us set the deal in case.
Help us close your deals. Yeah, Ricky's the deal master, but I'm also the deal master too. I don't close deals. Ricky closes deals. The whole staff closes deals. But I'm like the guru. I'm like Yoda. Okay, or Mr. Miyagi. You like that? At the end of the day. Okay. Last thing. Okay. See your best customers as soon as possible. See your best customers as soon as possible. That might mean your California appointments, right? That really cool uncle who loves you and the aunt just thinks you're the best and they'll probably buy an Ultimate just because it's you. Like, make sure you get them in your first 10 days. And try to get them in earlier. Don't like save, I'm going to save my best customers for now. The sooner you see them, the better, because they also give you what at the end of the appointments? Recommendations. You might see some of those because they're acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most of them might be recommendations, but there are going to be some acquaintances that you'll be able to call right away and add to the 40. I would understand so far? Okay. Last thing, and then we'll take a stretch. I want to talk to you real quick about selling big. That's the last part of this workshop. So if you notice, 75% of how to do 10K, I haven't taught you jack about selling. Right? I haven't given you any tips today. What are the three biggest sets? The Homemaker, the Signature, and the Complete. Wouldn't you imagine those are like the ones you want to try and sell the most? Right. I haven't given you any tips. Why? Because the most important thing is getting appointments, where to get the appointments, and when to book the appointments, and communication. Okay? So far, so good. All right. I'm going to actually give you direct, like, what to say today in terms of selling the bigger sets later in training. But I just want to give you some mindsets. So last page of your notes, and we'll take a stretch. Let me give you the mindset of the big sets. So if you remember this, Homemaker, Signature, Complete, Galley, and then you have 8 starter sets, and then you have Custom. You guys remember this? Raise your hand if you remember this. Yeah, it's from yesterday. So my goal is to help you sell the 3 higher ones as much as possible. How's your car? Okay, good. So far, so good? So what I'm going to teach you later are the words. Okay? I'm going to teach you later the words. But here's the most important thing. If you know the best customers that are more likely to buy these sets, you'll sell more of them. Okay? And the way that you sell them is easy. You sell the Homemaker, they say yes, and it's so easy. You just show them the other 2 sets. Or I'll give you some other options. But let me give you the first type of person. Okay, the first type of person always buys Signatures and Completes. And Homemakers, no problem. Meaning, like, Homemakers, like, if I just want to get something, I'll get a Homemaker. But I'll probably get a Signature Complete. Can anyone guess the first type? What kind of person is probably going to be a Signature Complete? Okay, ready? I love to cook and entertain a lot, and because I think I'm the best at it, I only want to have the best. Okay? So I would put that down. Cooks and entertains a lot. Like unbelievable. How many of you know someone where the party's always at their house and they always cook? Right? Or how many of you know someone that they think, I mean, everything about cooking in their world is like the best. Like they have the best kitchen stuff, the kitchen is beautiful, they put all their money into the kitchen, they want to entertain. These people are Completes and Signature sets for sure. Okay? Because, for example, I have a buddy, he golfs, but I didn't say he was a good golfer, I just said he golfs. And he loves to golf. He's not good, he loves to golf. So guess which clubs he has? The best. His Titleist, like they're like $2,700 custom. Right? I have a couple buddies that they play basketball. I didn't say they were good. One is good. You ever play ball, guys, and someone walks in and they have so much gear, you're like, this guy must be good, and they're terrible? But why do they have the gear? Because they love the sport so much. Okay? It's the same exact thing. So people who love to cook and entertain a lot, number one. Number two, I want you to write this down. The second type of customer, what's the second type of customer that always buys completes and signatures? Mac Plus. Mac Plus. All right, I want you to write that down. Mac Plus. These are people where 1139. What's that? What's 1139?
Nothing.
No, what is the 1139? What's that? The homemaker. So the signature complete. Oh, all right. These are the people that they wanted to buy a flat screen TV, they'll buy one. They want to buy a laptop for their kid, they'll buy one. They want to go on vacation for a weekend with the wife and just do some kind of cool, nice hotel, go to the W. Yeah, right? Okay. Now you may not have a customer like this, but if you do, those are completes and signatures for sure. Worst case, homemakers. And the third type of customer, actually, this is the most popular. We sell so many completes and signatures, not to all, but a good portion of these people. Ready? You might not even think about this. Grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, favorite aunts and uncles. I'll say it again. Grandma and grandpa, mom and dad, favorite aunts and uncles. Like closest relatives, like the really close relatives, like your godparents, your mom and dad's closest friends, aunts and uncles, like those people. What? And tell me about that. They don't necessarily have to be a Mac Plus. They might not necessarily like cook and entertain a lot, but if they're your grandparents, your mom and dad, your closest aunts and uncles, or maybe like godparents, take a wild guess why this is easy signature complete.
They love you.
They love you. Okay? What's the set that's for anyone that has to cook, even if you don't like to cook, and you get in and out of the kitchen, it's really efficient, and it's worth the value, and it's not too much out of the budget for a Mac customer. What's that set? What's that set? That's the homemaker. But if I have Nathan, who's my favorite nephew, and my husband and I have raised this kid in addition to the parents, and Crystal's like our favorite friend of our daughters, because she's the sweetest and she's Puerto Rican, right? And she's over trying to win a scholarship, and she's been nothing but the sweetest, and she's family to us. And we like this homemaker. I mean, $11.39, $2.45 a month. I mean, honey, that's nothing. We're gonna get that no matter what. But if for just a couple $100 more a month, if for like instead of $2.45, but $3.45 a month, what's $100 extra a month to a Mac? Nothing. Ready, everyone? Nothing. It is nothing to a Mac customer. Do you think they might pull the trigger on a ready? If they no problem getting 42-inch, but because it's you, might they get the 52-inch? And if it's you, you know, I love Brandon. Let's just get the 65-inch. Come on, we want it anyway, and it's going to help him. Can you see why that's such a great customer? So when should you try and see your folks, friends, family, closest friends, family, aunts, uncles, grandparents? This weekend. Cool? Any questions? Okay, I'm going to stop there. We're going to do a quick 30-second debrief, and then we're going to take a stretch. So, debrief, what are you taking from this? So, we've covered why you should go for 10, what happens when you go for a $10,000 fast start, the philosophies of a $10,000 fast start, the phone times, how many appointments, and where to get the appointments, and when to make, and the Champions Club and the attention. And then we talked about random tips, and then, of course, who buys the bigger sets. So, what are the biggest things that stand out? Those of you that are really excited for 10K fast start, where are the light bulbs going off? Give me one, Nathan. Best customers first, man. That's it. Right. What else is standing out? Just in general. You can even go back to the other ones. Go ahead, Shavante. What is it? You have to put in some work, for sure. A lot of work. David was tired on day 11. And I saw him. I said, "You tired?" He goes, "Yeah, man, I'm tired. But you know why? I'm not really that tired. Why? I just made $2,100. So he said, "Because I made more money." He goes, "I've made more money in 10 days here than I did 2 months teaching violin." He goes, "I'm not that tired now." He goes, "You know, it's really tired, working a lot, making a little. That's really tired." I'm like, true story. What else? What else is standing out? Come on. Who's excited? Okay, what else? What else is standing out in terms of how I get this done? Some of you weren't even here for the workshop. You're just kind of absorbing. That's totally cool with me. I have no problem with that. Go ahead, in the back, my friend.
The best phone times.
Yeah, the best phone times right here. So in other words, don't waste your time making phone times like at 11 o'clock on a Monday. Unless the customer says what? That's when you should call me, or you know they're home. But these are the best phone times. And then, of course, 5 before, 5 after. That's the secret one. That's what David did. That David did rather. Not a lot of other people did. Any questions? Okay, so let's do this. It is 9:50. We're going to do a role play, but we'll stand so we can stretch, and then we're going to get everyone checked in officially. So what we do is pair up. I just want you to do page 9 and 10. And after we do the role play, we'll do an official break where you guys can use the restroom. And you can feel free to eat right now. Okay? Nice work, everybody. And I'll walk around helping get checked in. I ripped it.